Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Paul J. Wolf III, and I'm here to talk more about my research paper called Adventure Cards, Process Wheels, and a Vision for Digital Storytelling, Learning from Leonardo. Yes, I am referring to the artist Leonardo da Vinci, whose greatest skill was his acute ability to observe things. In a similar way, I've tried to examine the phenomenon of living labs. My research paper is based on a 2-year immersion study of living labs at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I share my perspectives based on frontline experiences gleaned from the struggle to answer some common questions, such as what is a living lab, how does it work, and how can this innovation platform be cultivated to maximize impacts? I conducted a comprehensive listening tour of academic and operational units, speaking with directors, administrators, faculty, senior leaders, external partners, staff, and students affiliated with MIT to gain an understanding of ideas, aspirations, successes, and obstacles. The listening tour was divided into 3 phases, targeting academic units first, and then operational departments and student groups. I compiled findings from 33 in-person interviews and collected structured and unstructured data from 62 identified projects that utilized the campus as a testbed for sustainability-related research during the past 12 years. In summary, 3 key findings emerged: confusion about the term living lab, interest in learning how better to communicate research findings, and the need to connect with the right people and processes. With these themes as guideposts, I worked extensively with internal stakeholders, including faculty, staff, students, administrators, and external partners, during the following months in an effort to develop working definitions for the term living lab, to gain an understanding of how the processes work, and to encourage an emergent community of practice. The activities associated with the listening tour included an extensive literature review, the development of research questions, and comprehensive data analyses. The findings led to the creation of several new hands-on tools that have been tested in real-world environments. These include the process wheels, the Learning Adventure Cards, the Living Lab web app, and the Living Lab Frameworks video series. So you may ask, how did the process wheels actually work? So as you can see, these are a hand-sized tool that are comprised of a series of independent rings, kind of like a pinwheel, and they're all fastened in the center. The outer ring represents the entry points to a project. So here's where you might have alumni listed, or students, or faculty, or external partners. Moving in, the next ring represents priority filters, and in this case, we've identified things like scales of impact, or alignment with institutional goals, or operations focus. Moving toward the center, we find another ring that will identify the steps in the research process. And these are familiar things to those that are used to research, like research questions, findings, data collection and analysis, design methodology, and literature review. And then finally, the innermost ring will identify ideation strategies such as prototyping, connecting, reconnecting, testing outcomes, and defining your priorities. So this is the process wheel known as the teaming wheel, and it's a great tool to help you get on the same page from the moment a project starts through your identification of priorities, by alignment with research steps, and then finally with an alignment with the ideation strategies. This is the amplify wheel, and it too consists of a series of independent rings, all fastened in the center. The outer ring represents amplification mechanisms such as the Incubator Fund or Sustainability Data Hub, for example. The next ring aligns with steps in the research process, and the inner ring represents support mechanisms such as supporting research, investigative reports, and onboarding. Together, these two wheels help to provide project managers and team members tools to help make sure that they're all on the same page as they use the campus as a test bed for innovation. So how does a learning adventure card actually work? If you look here, we have an array of cards sitting on the table, and if you pick one up, on the front side you'll see the name of the project. There's a coding system that helps to identify the classifications of the research. There's a keyed image, and most importantly, there's the research problem and the solution, all listed in one hand-sized card. On the reverse side, you'll see the name of the project and classification again, and also a list of the players, some key information and findings, and the story of the research. And then down below there's a place to document the outcomes of the research, contact information, and duration. Information contained on the Learning Adventure cards is also linked to a robust database of structured and unstructured information, such as the outcomes, duration, sustainable development goals. QR codes are also used to link to additional information about living lab research. The Learning Adventure cards are actually a modern-day storytelling device, providing a quick and easy way to acquire lots of knowledge in a vivid and engaging fashion, in which the narrative is the carrier of the message rather than mere facts. And they are inspired by the analogy of sports-themed trading cards like the ones that you see here. The similarity of the Learning Adventure cards with the trading cards and their athlete hero subjects was intentional in an effort to conjure sports metaphors, i.e. baseball cards for researchers, if you will. In this experiment, I combined two unlikely entities, research and sports, in an effort to reduce the distance between the research findings and the general public and to make scholarship more accessible. The next innovation tool that I'd like to share is the Living Lab web app. You can see the web page here on my screen. And this is currently in development and manifests the ambition to create a multisensory storytelling machine capable of sharing structured and unstructured data in a user-friendly digital interface. One of the first things you notice when you go to the web app is this large locator map that we've created. What I did is recreate the entire campus footprint using a vector graphics program. And what this does is allow us to provide a lot of detail so that if you were to zoom in on any specific part, you would see quite a bit of detail in the buildings that are located on our campus. For example, here's Kresge Chapel, Kresge Auditorium. If we move a little bit further, we can see the famed Killian Court area. So the details of iconic buildings on our campus, like the power plant or the Status Center designed by famed architect Frank Gehry, are notated here. A custom design locator map allows users to locate research where it happens. and searchable filters that you see here on the left-hand side allow users to search labs by initiative types, by sustainability topics, by focus areas, outcomes, and duration. The dots that you see here correspond with living labs on the campus, and if you hover over them, you'll get a brief summary of the name of the project, its type, its research focus, and the number of outcomes. So you can very quickly scan and get information about these projects as you move around the app. If we want to go further than that, you click on the dot and it takes you to a detail page that looks like this. On the left-hand side, there's some featured images along with a scrolling bar at the bottom where you can access more images or even videos and learn about the research problem, the solution. On that left-hand side, on the right-hand side, we see the players involved with this research, as well as the outcomes and duration. And then there's a section here that tells you what documents and resources are available. So you could click on any of these links to find more information about the project. And if you're interested in similar projects, we have a search engine recommendation feature that will take you to those as well. So I want to draw your attention to this feature right here that says download adventure card, because what this page actually is a dynamic way to create your own adventure card. So when you hit print, it will print this page for you. You can fold it in half and then laminate it, and you have actually your own version of the physical adventure card that we talked about in the previous segment. The Living Lab Frameworks video series was created in response to the discoveries made during the listening tour. This series attempts to convey the characteristics of living labs, complex processes, and emerging typologies in a meaningful way. The integration of live video footage, animations, original art, comics, and graphics are also strategies of engagement designed to make this complex information more accessible. This study of the living lab transactions illuminated challenges in defining terms, identifying opportunities for team building, and communicating the stories of living lab research. But it was the act of combining the observations with the imagination that led to the creation of the innovation tools that have been described. As Leonardo da Vinci aptly shared in one of his famous tomes, if you wish to have a sound knowledge of the forms of objects, begin with the details of them, and do not go on to the second step until you have the first well fixed in memory.